Okay, so I just clicked on the forms and documents link, and it looks like they're interactive and they can do requests on road grading and dust control and pothole repair and getting the ramp cut for ADA access,
Right.
things like that. Looks like there's a lot of information in terms of documents and exclamation for fees and things like that.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
we know that realistically that people pay a lot of money in taxes and in fees to live here in Des Moines or in any community, and we want to be as, hate to use the term because I think it's overused, but as transparent as possible in how they're used and how we can provide services when there's a concern. Um, but our sometimes our technologies are a little clunkier than what we'd want them to be. But in terms of interaction on a service request, if you see a pothole that needs to be filled, or a street light that's out, or a branch that's down that's causing you to drive into another lane, which is obviously causes traffic safety concerns for us, we want to be responsive to anything like that. We're a service delivery provider, but we're also an emergency response provider, if you will. I know people hopefully will associate the Des Moines Public Works with flood control and snow and ice control. Those are pretty important emergency response mechanisms for us to work with Des Moines Police, Des Moines Fire, Polk County Emergency Management, whomever it would be, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. But at the end of the day, if these kind of technologies don't provide people a good entree, a good opportunity to come into our organization to request service, that would be a real problem for us. So if you're comfortable using this and find concerns and looking at it that we can improve on, be happy to hear that. If you're more comfortable using the telephone, 283-4950.
Is that also an emergency line too?
It's not an emergency in the sense that 911 would be, as an
Okay.
example, but certainly we prefer, if it's something that's infrastructure related, if it's about a tree, it's about a road, call us at that 283-4950 number as opposed to 911. Des Moines Police obviously wants to reserve that for immediate life-threatening circumstances, but it is emergency in the sense that we have people 24 hours a day to respond to whatever comes up. If you drive home this evening and while going to the north side find that there is a manhole cover off, as an example, and call in, I'm confident that within no more than a half hour that we'll have that manhole lid then back on. So that's the kind of emergency response, whether you're doing that at 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning, we'd want to know about or respond to.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going to ask about an article that just came out in today's Des Moines Register, the Metro and Iowa section. Des Moines wants 60 acres to unite service facilities. The Municipal Service Park on the southeast side would house public works, parks, and fleet operations, and maybe more in the future. I'm going to read a couple of snippets from
Please.
that and then ask for your thoughts.
Sure. Be glad to give them to you.
Okay, great. City Manager Rick Clark will ask the City Council on Monday for the go ahead to create a master plan for a consolidated municipal service park near Southeast 14th, Maury, and Harriet Streets. All right. Parks, public works, and fleet operations are currently spread among various sites, mostly near the route for the Southeast Connector between Southeast 1st and Southeast 23rd Streets. Is that right?
That's correct. There are a number of things going on in this area of the city, and for those of you who may not be able to envision that based on the addresses, you go up and down 14th, East 14th here in Des Moines, off the Capitol, down a big hill. As you get to the bottom of that big hill going south, that's Maury and Scott Street area. To the left of that or to the east of that, there's an area that had a number of meat packing industries over the years. An area that's unfortunately fallen into some level of economic instability. La Pizza House used to be in that area and closed, I believe, earlier this year as an example. That's an area that the city of Des Moines is looking at as being a prime area for us to relocate and consolidate a number of city facilities. My department, as an example, has several different locations. One of them here, really at the foot of the Capitol. Another one closer to the fairgrounds. An excellent Des Moines business, Kemin Industries, on the southeast side is going to be doing some expansion. Really needs part of our land in that area to be able to complete their business expansion and pursue their business plan. That's going to trigger a lot of different opportunities to consolidate services. The area that we're looking at off 14th and Scott Mowry, Harriet Street in the animal shelter area, if that also provides folks a visual. That's an area that we're looking at. We'll be going to the city council on Monday to ask for permission to move forward with a study on how to consolidate in that area, and also asking for specific approval to purchase land that's about 8 blocks further to the east as a place for relocation of part of our that is part of the Des Moines Public Works facilities that Kemin Industries really needs to be able to expand. So there are a lot of things going on, but at the end of the day, that's an area that really needs some attention in terms of economic development. The city would hope to be an anchor in helping to work with the private sector to clean that area up and to provide some economic vitality. But at the end of the day, it hopefully will mean greater services for Des Moines residents in an area that ultimately we would want to clean up and provide a greater opportunity for economic development.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and finish up another snippet. And this is a quote from Richard Clark.
Yeah. City manager? Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rick Clark. The idea is to see if we can locate these city operations in such a way that we can really save money on operating costs in the long term by making things more efficient. You think that'll
There's certainly that opportunity. It's not a slam dunk just by putting people together you're going to make them more efficient. But one of the issues in my business is to be as close to the center of the city, or at least the center of the population, as possible. We move a lot of material, move a lot of trucks. The closer we are to the center of the city, or at least the center of the people that we serve in terms of traffic movements, the better off we're going to be. 14th and Maury, the area that we're talking about here, is certainly pretty close to the center of the city and close to some very good traffic routes for us to move around. Right now, the area that we're in near the fairgrounds and in the downtown area probably does not provide the opportunity to get in and around and move around as efficiently, with literally hundreds of traffic movements every day as this site will. So really is probably a great opportunity for us to provide more efficient services. Simply putting everybody together in and of itself probably is not a silver bullet, but our access to Southeast 14th and the Southeast Connector, which is a new road in the Sec Taylor Principal Park area. There's a bridge being built that'll then connect to a multi-lane highway going all the way to Pleasant Hill. As we look in the next 5, 10, and 15 years, that transportation artery will be pretty important for us to plug into at this new location.
Okay. I just clicked on, or I'm going to click on a stormwater educational flyer that's on the Public Works website. And it's, I guess I can call it a quick and dirty discussion of stormwater responsibilities, how to manage it, the problems that are associated with stormwater, and then the number to call, which is a 24-hour number. Is there someone at that number?
I'm not sure what number, which particular number.
Sorry.
Is it a 323 number?
283-4950. Is that man?
There'll be a recording on off hours like this. If folks again have something that's of an emergency nature or something they think needs immediate attention, 283-4950. But the number that you've just given me is probably a 40-hour a week, Monday through Friday now.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm gonna switch a little bit, and I have some articles that I printed off, and they're not necessarily from the Des Moines Register. They're from different papers around Iowa, and they deal somewhat with public works, and I just wanted to see what you think about the latest issues of the day.
Great.
The first one I printed off is from the Record Herald. It's from the Indianola Record Herald, and this is the Wednesday, November 17th issue. Cleanup of illegal county dump site fills 12 trucks. And the title is pretty explanatory, but it sounds like the dump site, the illegal dump site was in the county right-of-way, and that it's existed for decades, and they're not going to identify the location. I think they're going to do a sting operation there or something like that. But have you ever encountered something so like that here in Des Moines?
Unfortunately, we encounter it pretty regularly.